Hello everyone, my name is Zard and welcome back to another video. So today I'll be talking about the three January Star Wars sets releasing. So there's the Slave One Microfighter, the 501st Battle Pack, as well as the TIE Bomber. These were found at a store. I'm looking at these pictures from Promo Bricks, and I believe Life Bricks, the YouTube channel, has a review up for the 501st Battle Pack if you're interested in seeing that. So, the first set here, and before I do talk about that one, there is the X-Wing Polybag, I believe, coming out in January as well. It's an X-Wing Polybag. I believe there's like a sticker over it. It was sort of hard to see. It looks fine. I think there's a little Return of the Jedi logo on that, and I'm assuming that logo will also be on any helmets or display sets or future summer UCS sets, possibly. Anything that comes out from the film will probably have that logo as well, or at least I would assume it does, but you know, Lego Star Wars isn't necessarily the most consistent theme out there, so I wouldn't exactly expect. Actually, I'd probably would expect it for an original trilogy thing. So, first the Boba Fett Starship Microfighter. This is from Book of Boba Fett. It looks fine. The overall shape I would think is really good, but the wings look really just way too, or whatever it is, they just look really small. That's, I think, the thing that is most off about this for me. I'm not going to pick this up. I really don't care too much about microfighters. A few months ago, I was looking at a Facebook Marketplace listing that I had sent a message for. It had like 12 microfighters from like the original wave of microfighters. There were some really cool ones like the gunship, the turbo tank was there, the ARC 170. I think the snow speeder, the Falcons. There was some really cool stuff, and I didn't end up getting it. I didn't get a message back, and if I had got that, that would have started a bit of a microfighter collection for me, and I for sure would have got this set if I had gotten that, but since I didn't, I really have no interest in getting this set. I have a few microfighters, but unless I can get those older ones, especially some of the more expensive ones like that turbo tank, and I think the Ghost as well is quite expensive, so if I can kind of get those all sealed and quite nice, I might end up going back and getting all the microfighters sealed, but I'll just see on that. The next is the 501st Clone Troopers Battle Pack. There's a Specialist Trooper, an Officer, then 2 Heavy Troopers, and a really nice cannon build. That's probably my favorite microfighter build in a while, or at least cannon build. The Speeder from last year was really good as well. The minifigures, I quite like that Specialist figure. I wish there was some printing on the micro binoculars. I should mention that this is the first time we are getting that piece, utilizing those new helmet holes. The Specialist has blue arms and a couple yellow markings like the game. It looks quite good. I really like that figure. I for sure will be getting multiple of these, and that's for sure one that I quite like a lot. I think I'm going to have those micro fighters propped up a bit, but it looks quite good. The next minifigure is the Officer, which I think is the weakest here for me. Now, looking at it a bit more, it's not as bad as I originally thought it was, but I just, the blue belt really sticks out for me, and I don't love it. The printed on waistcape is fine. I kind of like the fabric ones. Now, I will say one thing about the plastic ones is you don't have them really getting in bad condition, but if you take care of your minifigures, that shouldn't happen. Now, one thing on the box is that they have the attachment there for the Officer on a better spot on the helmet, and it's almost like there's 2 helmets on the box. From actual images of this set out of the box, there is only 1 hole, and it's just like the 212th clone, so that's going to be quite high on the helmet, which just, it doesn't look great. One thing, we saw this with the 212th, but one thing about those is you weren't really putting those attachments in. You were putting the attachments for Cody, but I feel like most people would probably just leave it clear of those attachments for those 212. But in this case, it's sort of a part of this officer minifigure, and it's way too high, and I'm worried on a potential Rex figure, because I want Rex so much. He's one of my favorite Star Wars characters, and I'm worried on how that figure will look with those pieces just so high up. The next, so yeah, that figure's alright. It's for sure my least favorite of them, but it's decent. The 501st Heavy Troopers have some sort of back attachment. I don't know. I haven't actually watched that review. I probably will after this video, but I don't know. Some sort of Republic logo to, I'm guessing, imitate the backpacks that they wear, which would be pretty cool. It looks like a fine clone trooper. The torso print is pretty nice. I find the legs a bit bare, just being the normal 501st legs. I feel like there should have been something else there, just with the amount of detail on the torso print. The legs look a bit plain, and the guns as well, just, there's something about them that just doesn't work for me when it comes to these heavy troopers. But they're fine. It seems like an overall decent clone battle pack. I love clones quite a bit. I feel like this is the first case, like the 212 helmet holes didn't bother me all too much. I felt they were a bit high, but it really didn't bother me all too much, because I wouldn't be attaching the parts that came with it to those clones, whereas this case, you're sort of meant to do that, and when you look at the officer, it just doesn't look as good as I would like it to. The build here is really good. I really like that specialist, and I'm excited to get more of that minifigure. And the heavy trooper as well looks pretty decent. Now, one thing that from the first images of this set, when they came out, it seemed like the same helmet issue that was with the 212 and that ATTE was the same thing here, where the prints were just quite spread out. Now, I think for the 501st, it doesn't look as bad, but in the 212 case, you really want that sort of triangle on the forehead, whereas it's just way sloped down. I don't think you have that big of a problem here, but I think it is for sure probably different than what you actually see on the box. There's also the 20th anniversary of the Clone Wars that I believe was meant to be in the front corner of this set, but has moved to the side, and I'm just happy it's on there. It looks like a cool logo. The last set here is the TIE Bomber. This wasn't found in the store, but was at the back of the instruction manual, and this looks really good. I really like the look of this. Vader's fine. The TIE pilot totally makes sense. The Gong droid reuses that droid, or the Imperial crate piece, which is a really nice use there. And Rey Sloane, I'm not 100% sure if I pronounced that character correctly, but looking at the images of that character, I was really hoping she was going to have that white ISB outfit on. I thought that would have been really, really cool. Whereas here, she just looks pretty much just like an Imperial officer. But getting that extra minifigure is still cool, especially a named character, and an interesting named character like that you really wouldn't expect, I would think. But overall, I think it looks really good, and I quite like the cockpit area. Looks really nice. I like those pieces used around the actual plate there. And yeah, I quite like that piece. We're getting the Interceptor and that Mandalorian set later this year, at least I believe that's what's rumored. I think it's a Fang Fighter and the Interceptor, so with the TIE Fighter, which I believe is still on shelves, I'm not 100% sure on that. I mean, still on shelves going into next year. Be able to get the TIE Bomber, the normal TIE Fighter, and then the Interceptor, which I'm assuming that Interceptor is going to be just a normal Imperial one, but given that it's set during the Mandalorian, maybe it's a little beat up, I don't know. But getting those 4 TIE fighters, especially at the same time, I think will, in the same style, you know, if this released in, say, 5 years and they'd moved on to a different style, this might not blend in as well. But I'm excited to see how all those TIE fighters look together, especially since I think that newer one that came out is really good. I love the compact design. There's a few pieces there that I wish were the same color. Especially I think it's on the wing section. But it overall seems like a decent January wave. There's a few things I would like to see different in that 501st Battle Pack, but I will be buying multiple of these. The Slave 1 Microfighter is alright, and the TIE Bomber looks really good. I'm not 100% sure on the price here, 65 euros, which I think is 65 USD, so Canadian probably 80 to 85, which is a lot for a TIE fighter, but when I see a review of this, and hopefully it's quite, can't really see all of it, I think there's some sort of transporting vehicle that can go in and out of this, or it's just on the outside, I don't see it going in, but yeah, seems like a decent January wave. I'm really excited for that March, May, April time wave where you've got the display sets. I'm really excited for those clone helmets as well as those Mandalorian sets, and then the UCS set, which I'm hoping there's something new about that soon that is not a confirmation on Chewbacca, because if it ends up being that buildable Chewbacca, that's disappointing, because I think a TIE Bomber, Vader's TIE Fighter even, I'd love something like an ARC 170. I just love ship UCS sets, and if they're done well, I really do like Master Builder series sets, and I just talking about those before I end out this video, Master Builder series sets, if I don't see it coming out in the May UCS set, but maybe later in the year. I think it's a popular set, Mos Eisley set. I don't like it at all. I truly don't like it at all. I don't care about Tatooine. I truly do not care about Tatooine at all. The architecture of Tatooine, the colors of Tatooine, the minifigures, some of them are decent. That's pretty much it. I don't care about that set at all, so I'm really hoping that if we do get another Master Builder series set, it's something like Endor, which I'd absolutely love to get. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to check out a review of that 501st Battle Pack, I believe Life Bricks it is. I believe it says it on this. Yes. So I saw that video earlier, so if you want to check that out, that review is out on YouTube. I think it's the first one of this 501st Battle Pack. So yeah, small January wave, but a decent one. The Microfighter makes sense given Book of Boba Fett and just the fact that there hasn't been a Slave 1 Microfighter. Now, one thing that I was thinking of that would be an interesting Microfighter would be a Luke's Landspeeder. Now, I know it probably wouldn't be popular in like the Lego YouTube community that seems very against getting a lot of Luke's Landspeeders, and I don't want one myself, a new one, but I think the UCS one's great, and that hasn't happened, so I think it's just something that could, or maybe even a TIE Bomber would be pretty cool. I think we got an Interceptor, and there's a few TIE Fighters, so a TIE Bomber would be pretty cool. Now, with that TIE Pilot minifigure, can't tell if there's arm printing on that Vader or not. There might be. I don't know what headpiece that one will be using. If it is using that Anakin one, that would be pretty cool, because I'm sort of debating on whether or not I want to get that other Kenobi set. I saw a Facebook Marketplace listing for it that was like $35, which is pretty good price for, I think, like a $65 Canadian set. I'm talking way too long at this point, so yeah, it's decent. Oh, there's also the Tusken Raider brickheads, which I think are releasing, and I thought there was a 5-pack of brickheads as well. I'm not 100% sure on that, but the Tusken Raider brickheads looks quite good. you know, Lord of the Rings, Burkhead's coming out. Burkhead's pretty good. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.